Capital News tonight. President Dr. Magufuli intends to dissolve Dar es Salaam City Council. Government dissatisfied with transfer of Tanzanian pilot leading the exercise to destroy desert locusts in the country to Kenya. And in sports, Simba SC's Clatous Chama compares club to Kings of the Jungle after a 1-0 win against Al Ahly. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's get things started with the national news. President Dr. John Magufuli has said that he intends to dissolve Dar es Salaam City Council, with the funds used to run the city council to be used to implement various development projects. The president of Tanzania said this when launching the main Ubungo Bridge, which has been named Kijazi Interchange earlier today after the former chief secretary John Kijazi, who died on February 17th, whereby afterwards he went to launch the new bus station at Mbezi Lewis.
Kwamba nategemea kufanya mabadiliko kidogo, na mabadiliko haya ni ya kuwa na manispaa ambazo zinawakilisha maeneo, halafu unakuwa na jiji ambalo limekaa likihengi huko halina maeneo yoyote. Kwa hiyo nategemea jiji la Dar es Salaam kulivunja.
The exercise to destroy desert locusts that have invaded the southern highlands zones has continued in Siha, Longido and Simanjiro districts, with the government expressing dissatisfaction with the Locust Prevention Institute taking the Tanzanian pilot that was leading the plane that was spraying pesticides in areas invaded by locusts and transferring him to Kenya.
Threat ya nzige sisi hatuichukulii kwa wepesi mdogo. Tunaichukulia kwa serious kubwa na
we are taking the threat of locusts seriously, and as a ministry, Honorable Minister instructed about 2 days ago that an aircraft is used for tracking.
Natoa wito kwa shirika la kupambana na nzige wa jangwani.
I urge the organization in charge of combating locusts in the desert to up efforts in this fight. I'm not happy that there is an aircraft here in Moshi, yet they've taken the pilot to Kenya. I'm asking for explanation from the organization of which we are paying members, why this aircraft is in Moshi, yet the pilot is in Kenya.
Hapa tulipo ndo nzige walikuwa wameka makao, na ninyi kama mnaona.
Where we are standing is where locusts had settled. This is why we've come to attack them using an aircraft.
The exercise to destroy desert locusts, the connection at the main road joining some villages in Gairo district and Kilindi district in Tanga region has been broken after destruction of Nguyami Bridge rejoins the two following ongoing rains, despite the bridge having rebuilt over 5 times, with residents asking for a higher bridge to be built that will stop the long-term problem from reoccurring.
Ikichukuliwa walisia kuanzia mwaka 97.
The bridge started problems since 1997, causing government to incur loss. About 3 to 4 vehicles have sunk here and lost a lot of assets. There was a vehicle that sunk and lost over 60 sacks of maize.
Na pale mbele pamekatika na kila siku panakatika.
I'm calling on residents to remain calm and our fellows from town roads to do something quickly. Residents are suffering during the rain season.
Kikubwa kuhusu daraja ni maafa ambayo yanatokea mara kwa mara.
Effects occur regularly when people cross over the bridge during the rain season. As the fire brigade, we are here to give people precautions once they cross the bridge so that they will not be harmed in any way.
The government has announced that it intends to increase implementation of steps to protect from communicable and non-communicable diseases, especially a wave of various viral diseases affecting breathing.
Ndugu wananchi, kila mwaka kipindi cha Novemba hadi Machi, wimbi la magonjwa hususan yale yanayoathiri mifumo ya upumuaji.
Every year, the period between November to March, there is an increase in cases of respiratory and food system illnesses. This is due to change in the weather pattern and rain, which continue to fall during this period. I'm instructing the government chief chemist to continue to give information on how we can manufacture our own sanitizer from our own institutions so as to enable people to buy sanitizers at an affordable cost.
Residents of Kalambo district and Rukwa region have asked the government to renovate the main road joining Zambia and Tanzania through Kashesha border after cargo and passenger vehicles at the Kateka village area were stranded for over 24 hours due to the road's construction after the contractor working on the road placing rubble while it was raining.
What we don't understand is why during the rain season is when they begin to repair the road. We've instructed him to help all vehicles that are stuck. The rain started to fall when a small section of the road was incomplete. There has been a delay in the process to buy material for road repair in the dry season, which causes inconveniences in the rain season.
The President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Mwinyi, has directed the Minister of Home Affairs, who went to State House in Zanzibar to introduce himself, to ensure citizens continue to do their jobs peacefully.
Zanzibar ikiwa ni sehemu ambayo tunavutia sana uwekezaji, na kuna uwekezaji wa nyumba za makazi. Kuna miradi mikubwa hapa, watu wamewekeza katika makazi, na mara nyingi nyumba hizi masoko yake ni ya nje, na tulikuwa tunazungumzia incentives za kuwapa wale wanaojenga, lakini incentives za kuwapa wanaonunua.
Kwanza ni pole kwa msiba.
Asante sana.
Pole sana. Ya pili tupongeze.
Ndiyo.
Ushindi na kuchaguliwa. Na namna ambavyo siku 100 tumezisikia.
Asante sana.
Tunashukuru sana pamoja na timu wanaokusaidia.
And the Bank of Tanzania has banned the public from accepting dirty money that is given by some commercial banks, emphasizing that there are BOT guidelines that allow them to punish the banks.
There was a time I had a torn note from an ATM dispenser, which was a big inconvenience as I needed to make a payment, and the banks were already closed. In January, we had a team visit banks in Lindi and Mtwara as well as Nachingwea, and we were faced with the same problem.
Noti safi, kwanza noti zozote ni tunu ya taifa.
Some of the features in the old notes are no longer visible. This is why we are insisting on clean notes to be on circulation.
Heads of states of countries of the East Africa community are expected to hold a meeting that will discuss and make decisions on key matters involving the community, including appointment of a new Secretary General.
Shughuli nyingine ambayo ni muhimu itakayofanyika na wakuu wa nchi ni uteuzi wa majaji wa mahakama ya haki ya Afrika Mashariki, yani the East African Court of Justice. Sasa ziko nafasi ambazo zimekuwa wazi baada ya majaji walio
That's all for the national news. International news is next. In international news, schools have reopened in the Democratic Republic of Congo after they were closed for more than 2 months due to the coronavirus pandemic. Before entering schools, with parents in Benitown urging the government to ensure security at the schools.
We are happy to go back to school. Locked in our homes for over 2 months was quite stressful. The decision made by the Ministry of Education of reopening schools was made at the right time so that we could carry on with our studies. It is good to go back to school. Staying at home has brought several impacts on girls. Some of our fellow girls are pregnant.
Former presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi, properly known by his musician name as Bobi Wine, has formally filed an application withdrawing his electoral petition challenging President Yoweri Museveni's victory. The National Unity Platform leader, through his lawyers, outlined 6 grounds that influenced him to lose interest in the petition, among them his decision to withdraw the petition, claiming it was influenced by several factors and not by any corrupt bargain or consideration from President Museveni, the Electoral Commission, or the Attorney General, who are respondents in the petition.
Miscellaneous application number 05 of...
Among the reasons that he gave was his abduction, house arrest, and denial of his witnesses, things that blocked him from filing the case early.
And President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya said the Building Bridges Initiative BBI constitution reform process will better the business environment in the country. President Kenyatta's statement comes a day after county assemblies passed the BBI bill.
Jana mkiambiwa BBI ni ya Uhuru. Hii pesa mnataka ikae kwa mifuko yenu ama mnataka KRA ichukue? Nataka gani? Iingie kwa mifuko. Naweza kuandika vijana wenzanu na hawa pia waweze kujisimamia na kusimamia familia zao. Au ni namna gani?
As the bill moves to Parliament for deliberation, we urge our colleagues in Senate and National Assembly to completely ignore the negative propaganda and emulate our MCAs in amplifying the voice of the people.
We will not forget, but we will forgive, because there are many people who misunderstood what this thing was about. But it looks like Kenyans have understood it better than the politicians.
In our special report today, we look at how Germany and other European countries are planning to reopen after lockdowns, all against the backdrop of increasing concerns about the coronavirus variants. Joining us now is correspondent Thomas Sparrow from our media partner Deutsche Welle in Berlin. So, Thomas, there are discussions in various European countries about the reopening of schools. How is the situation in Germany?
Centers, elementary schools in most German regions reopened this week, almost 2 months after they had to close because of high coronavirus numbers here in Germany. The reopening does not, however, mean that schools are going back to normal. Some schools have split the classes into smaller groups, for example, whereas others are allowing pupils to go to school only on certain days. Those who are in favor of this move say it is important for their education and well-being, as well as for their parents after months of working from home and helping them also with virtual learning. Those who, on the other hand, are skeptical of the decision to reopen schools say it could have a negative impact on the overall coronavirus situation in the country, which has generally improved in the last few weeks as a result of the strict restrictions that have been in place since December.
So does this mean that teachers are getting vaccinated quicker than other groups now? And how is Germany handling this?
Well, since it can be hard to ensure social distancing with young children, the idea is for teachers to get priority access to a vaccine, in particular the AstraZeneca vaccine, which in Germany is only being used for people of working age, and in some cases it has been met with public resistance, as anecdotal reports have surfaced suggesting that it may cause stronger side effects or it's not as effective as the other two vaccines that have been approved at a European level. Only a small part of AstraZeneca vaccines that have actually been delivered to Germany have been used. The German government, however, has launched a public relations push to reassure citizens that it works, stressing that it's highly effective and it's safe. So far, Germany has administered over 5 million doses of the different vaccines, including that of AstraZeneca. But Germany is well behind other countries like the US, Britain or Israel.
So with that, what will be the next steps in Germany's reopening?
The German Chancellor Angela Merkel has said the loosening of restrictions should be carried out in 3 stages, obviously depending on whether numbers continue to go down and remain down for some time. Those stages are personal contacts, so in other words, how many people can meet between households, further decisions on schools and sports, and then the reopening of restaurants and cultural institutions. But the Chancellor has also warned against a hasty reopening, and she has said that the country should reopen cautiously, in particular because of concerns that Germany might already be in a third wave caused in part by the more contagious coronavirus variants that are certainly becoming more common in the country. A decision on those next steps is expected at the beginning of March, when the Chancellor and regional leaders will agree on the way forward.
Thank you very much, Thomas, for that update. And with that, we will go for a short break and we'll be back with business news.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and now in business news. Serengeti Breweries Limited has continued to support the government's effort in making Tanzania an industrial economy with the launch of a new beer called Guinness Smooth, which is produced in the country using local raw materials.
This beer is made by using some local ingredients. We are here to taste it together with our clients at the launch of the beer. This beer will be available in all the bars. As a trader, I'm looking forward to make profit out of this beer. I'm confident that this beer will perform wonderfully at the market because it is a leading brand.
Tanzania Revenue Authority TRA in Kigoma region is implementing an operation on entrepreneurs who are not using electronic fiscal devices EFDs and consumers who do not request electronic receipts once they have purchased their goods.
There are times that the machine loses network. We are then forced to give written receipts, and later on they are included in the records. TRA still have a lot of work to do on the area of awareness. Many people need to be reached. From taxes paid, we see several development activities. I urge traders to pay their taxes on time for our own well-being as a country. Several operations have been held and the results are obvious, like issuing of receipts. And they are also happy with awareness campaigns done by our officers.
Tanzania Tourist Board TTB has called on women to look for business opportunities in the tourism sector in order to empower themselves economically and bring about rapid development in the country.
There are several activities in this sector that can be done by women and transform their lives in our societies. Thus, we are calling on women to engage in tourism activities. There are marvelous opportunities that will empower women and have their contribution in the country's economy.
Tumeandaa maonyesho ya wanawake wafanyabiashara wa sekta zote.
We have organized exhibition of women from sectors that will be done at Mlimani City Hall in Dar es Salaam from 4th to 7th of March 2021. Among other sectors that will participate at the event includes the tourism sector.
That's all for business news. Sports is up next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose and left.
And now in sports. Simba SC midfielder Clatous Chama is likened the club to Kings of the Jungle after they beat Al Ahly 1-0 in a CAF Champions League match at Benjamin Mkapa Stadium. Here's more.
Among the players who stared for them Msimbazi Giants as they secured the vital win against the African champions in front of 30,000 fans. Mozambican star Luis Miquissone powered home the all-important goal in the 31st minute, exchanging 1-2 passes with Chama before unleashing a right-footed effort which sizzled past Al Ahly defender and keeper Mohamed El Shanawi to the roof of the net. Chama has now taken to his social media pages to state they are dominating the sky in Africa after the huge win saw them take full control of Group A with 6 points from 2 matches.
Al Ahly coach Pitso Mosimane has questioned the decision to have fans attend their CAF Champions League match against Simba SC, which they lost 1-0 on Tuesday.
The Red Devils came up against the Msimbazi Giants at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium, with CAF allowing 30,000 fans to attend the match, and by Tuesday morning, all 30,000 tickets had already been sold out. Simba then bet the African champions 1-0, the first defeat for coach Mosimane by an African team since he joined the Egyptian side. Mozambican winger Luis Miquissone powered home the all-important goal in the 31st minute, exchanging a 1-2 pass with midfielder Clatous Chama before unleashing a right-footed effort which sizzled past Al Ahly defender and keeper Mohamed El Shanawi to the roof of the net.
And Premier League clubs are to vote on whether to allow fans back for the final day of the season, with concerns that home teams could have a significant advantage in the battle for European places and the relegation fight.
Boris Johnson announced the government's post-lockdown plans on Monday, and up to 10,000 spectators could be let into grounds on 23rd of May, when Fulham are due to play Newcastle at Craven Cottage in what is potentially a relegation decider, and Brighton, currently 5th from bottom, travel to Arsenal. Spurs visit 8th-placed Aston Villa for a match that could be key to Europa League qualification. Premier League sources said they were consulting with clubs and confirmed that a vote to allow fans would need the approval of 14 of the 20 clubs at a shareholders' meeting. One potential solution is for pilot matches to be staged from mid-April as part of the government's test events program.
Jamal Musiala became the youngest English goal scorer in Champions League history and Bayern Munich's youngest goal scorer in the competition at the age of 17 years, 363 days, in the holders' 4-1 thrashing of Lazio in Rome.
Night of landmarks, with Robert Lewandowski becoming the Champions League's third top scorer of all time in their last 16 first leg, the Polish striker pouncing on a poorly judged back pass after 9 minutes to steer in his 72nd goal in the competition. In doing so, he surpassed former Real Madrid strikers Raul's in the competition scoring charts to reach a total, only buttered by Juventus's Cristiano Ronaldo with 134 goals and Barcelona's Lionel Messi with 119.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching and have a good night.
You can watch Capital